Hey everyone, I'm Mike from thegamepreview.com, and this is our review for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. Quick few things before we begin. Number one, I would like to thank Activison for providing us a review copy. Very kind of you guys. And secondly, I would just like to let all of you watching know that the gameplay you're seeing here is captured on a PS4 Pro. This game is also available on Xbox One, Xbox One X, and PC. And regular PS4, of course. But without further delay, let's begin. When I first launched Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake for the first time, I was near immediately launched into just unbelievable pure serenity. Seeing that title screen again set to that classic soundtrack, I already knew that this was going to be everything that I wanted it to be. Sure, I may have been partially blinded by nostalgia at first, but that didn't last long really whatsoever. As I went through the tutorials to refamiliarize myself with the controls and then went on to play through the parks, I was met with an impeccable game. Of course, I had to take playing all the Tony Hawk games growing up into consideration in the interest of remaining objective, but even if I didn't play said titles, my opinion of this release would remain the same. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake is a masterfully executed recreation of the two hit classics, and quite possibly the most faithful remake I've personally ever played. And to start, we'll discuss graphics and visuals. When I made my 2020 return to the iconic school in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, my jaw nearly dropped. While the graphics aren't up to the level of the highest budget AAA titles made today, they have no real reason to be. Especially for a $40 title which contains two games from the PS2 era remade from the ground up, the graphics on display are beautiful. Just about everything has been improved visually in every way possible, you name it. Lighting, shadows, water effects, textures, frame rate, visual fidelity. The improvements are incredibly vast and just as numerous. Vicarious Visions clearly paid close attention to what made the original stunning back in the day and simply brought that back and greatly enhanced those aspects for the modern age. And this will lead us into the main chunk of our discussion here, gameplay and content. And I'll start this section by letting the purists out there know that if you've ever played the originals, it's nearly identical. To make it explicitly clear for any newcomers, however, that is an amazing thing and nowhere near being considered a con. The game and skating mechanics are solid and work near flawlessly majority of the time. Additionally, and as I mentioned previously, there are very intuitive tutorials as well to hone said mechanics and practice to your heart's content. Whether you're stuck on a park challenge or just need a quick refresher, the tutorials are genuinely useful. However, these mechanics mean nothing without using them to perform insane tricks, which I'm happy to report there are a massive amount of. It's never been more fun to learn, master, and build custom creative combos out of the near countless amount of moves available. If you ever encounter any frustrating obstacles that you just can't seem to get past, however, Vicarious Visions has you covered for that as well with game mods. Game mods are completely optional features toggled from a sub-menu on the main menu that make the game much easier for newcomers, and although I personally didn't utilize them, they are a welcome addition. For me, the challenge is a massive, necessary part of the experience. The feeling and drive of the game instills of wanting to improve my ability and increase my high scores provides an immense amount of replay value. Finally landing a trick or a crazy combo I was struggling to pull off is unbelievably satisfying. And speaking of replay value, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 is filled to the absolute brim with it. There is a staggering amount of content. The 9 parks from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1, along with the 8 parks from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, with all their collective challenges beautifully remade, the endlessly replayable free skate mode, multiplayer modes to chill and skate with your friends, create a park which already has active creators and you could become one of them, over 700 career challenges to grind out across all modes, and a bunch of cosmetic customization options to boot. There are frankly a ton of customization options for your skaters' clothing and board, and that's on top of the 22 pro skaters to play as, along with the 4 custom create your own skater slots provided to you. All of cosmetics are, thankfully, earned exclusively in-game through gameplay progression, no microtransactions in sight. With everything this package has on offer, there will never be enough downtime to invoke boredom. And that leads us into glitches and technical issues. Not all is perfect in paradise, however, though to be fair, it nearly is. It's about as close as you can get. In my time with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, I experienced a few clipping issues with my skater's character model, but they were nothing major or remotely game breaking. Additionally, at times my skater could feel a bit stiff to control as well, but the issue wasn't consistent enough to be a large detraction. Furthermore, the controls would sometimes be unresponsive at moments when dealing with multiple rapid inputs, which led to frustration. However, it wasn't a common occurrence. Overall, these complaints are only minor, and I wouldn't be remotely surprised if they were patched in the future. And this is now where I will conclude the review. I don't know why I said it like that. I apologize. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 is downright one of the best remakes I've ever played, if not the current best. The games still retain their identities after all these years, and it is blatantly apparent, although given a significant visual upgrade. The gameplay is still as smooth and intuitive as it ever was, with near endless replayability to enjoy said gameplay however much you want. That's on top of all the customization options to unlock, so you always feel like you are constantly making progress. There are a few minor technical bugs, but they're just that, minor and mostly insignificant. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is back in full force, and I sincerely hope Vicarious Visions is already planning their next installment for the revitalized franchise that we all know and love dearly. We here at the TGP give Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 Remake a score of 9 out of 10. Very well deserved. And if you'd like to read the full written review without any of my speech gaffes, be sure to visit thegamepreview.com.